Hello fellow cyborgs, and today I want to share with you my TBR for an upcoming readathon. Katie from Books and Things is hosting the TBR Clear Out Readathon all through the month of April. I am really glad that she is hosting this because, as you know, I have been working toward a very small physical TBR and doing pretty well, but I have recently hauled a number of books that I will show you as soon as they all arrive. So I do want to get some of these books off of my physical TBR as soon as possible. The books that I've chosen are ones that have been on my TBR the longest, or ones that I need a little kick in the butt to finish. Manya by Anna Gameir, translated by Kate Phillips, is the last Persephone book on my shelves from when I was purchasing Persephone books about 5 years ago. There are a few more Persephone books that I really want to read and purchase, but I've made a deal with myself that I cannot until I have finally read Manya. It is a big book though, and it takes place during World War II. From what I can remember, it follows the lives of 5 children who experience World War II in different ways. And I can't remember if they're children during World War II or adults during World War II, but it has to do with children, 5 of them, and World War II. Anna Gameir, probably not saying that last name correctly, is the mother of Eva Ibbotson, who is one of my favorite middle grade authors. I think that's how you'd categorize her, though sometimes I think she does a bit of YA as well. So this has been on my shelves for at least 4 years, and I keep meaning to pick it up, but I haven't. So I'm hoping that I will finally do so because Katie is making me in this readathon. The Heart of Midlothian by Sir Walter Scott is one that recently was not culled in an unhaul. I think last year I read the first few pages to see, am I ever actually going to read this? And the first few pages were quite funny and easier to read than I expected, and so this was not unhauled. Have I picked it up since though? No. I first purchased this on my trip to Edinburgh, Scotland in July of 2015, so this has coming up on 5 years of being on my shelves and never having attempted to read it. I bought this pretty much as a souvenir for the Writers' Museum in Edinburgh, but I also don't want to just keep this around as a souvenir. I want to actually read it. Hopefully I'll enjoy it, especially knowing that Sir Walter Scott was one of the favorite authors of a lot of Victorian authors that I know. And by a lot, I mean Charlotte Bronte is the only one I know for sure who liked Sir Walter Scott. I'm rereading Little Women right now, and it mentions Meg reading Ivanhoe, which is also by Sir Walter Scott, so maybe thinking of my fictional and non-fictional friends who are still fictional for me, enjoying Scott will make me want to read this a little bit more. This one is one of the longer books on my physical TBR, and it's a classic. Wish me luck. Those 2 books are definitely my priority. They are the weights upon me of my physical TBR, and I really want to prioritize those 2. I do have 3 other books to show you though. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get to Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. This is a play. It's quite a long play. This was kindly gifted to me by Acacia. She sent it to me for my birthday, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and I still haven't gotten to it. This is a lovely old vintage copy that smells delightful. I'm hoping that because this is a play that I will be able to squeeze this in April as well. I did enjoy The Crucible by him. I have no idea what this is about, though it looks like it's more modern. I'm assuming set in the 1950s, but I'll tell you when I find out. These final 2 books I put on my TBR as a kick in the pants for me to get to them sooner rather than later. Both I've acquired fairly recently within the last year. The Ruby and the Smoke by Philip Pullman was a lovely gift from a friend when she visited me in November of 2019. I need a kick in the butt to read this because I don't really love mysteries all that much. In fact, I don't know that there's a mystery that you would shelve in the mystery section that I have given 5 stars. And also because my mom is currently reading the 3rd book in this series and wants to talk to me about it, which means I need to get this read. But I'm hoping that the Victorian setting and the fact that my mom has really enjoyed this and thinks that I will too will make a lovely reading experience. And then here I have A Treasury of Mark Twain. This is a 1999 folio edition in case you were wondering, and I purchased this when I visited my sister who lives in Buffalo, New York, and I think that was about this time last year in 2019. This is a collection of his shorter works, including, I believe, excerpts from longer works, and I'm hoping to read one small thing every night through the month of April. I'm not sure if it will actually work out that way, but that's my hope, is to get this read, and again, you can have a book as a souvenir, but you actually need to read it. The last book I have here is an ebook, and I've put this on the TBR because I have been struggling to read the ebooks on my Kindle now that I'm not traveling and won't be traveling for a while, it appears. I've already started reading this one, and technically I'm rereading it. This one is Gooseberry, Bluff Community College of Magic, The 13th Rib by David J. Schwartz. I've had this on my Kindle since the first few months that I've had my Kindle, which has probably been close to 10 years by now. This was one of the books that was being released weekly, I believe. It was being serialized as a kind of promotion and was therefore pretty cheap. I remember reading along with the serialization for most of the book, but I don't remember if I actually ever finished it or if I got so far through and didn't want to finish it that I marked it read on Goodreads anyway, which sounds really strange, but it's possible Past Amanda did something like that. So I'm currently rereading this and really enjoying it, and I just want to make sure that I get this read in April and not stretch it on for longer than that. This urban fantasy book centers around a community college of magic. Our main character is someone who has a hard time recognizing faces. I think it's called prosopagnosia, maybe. But her magical ability is to see the auras around people, so she identifies people that way. And there's something weird going on in this campus, something that might be bigger than just a school, something that might be life-threatening. So like I said, I am really enjoying the world building and the characters and the writing style, and I just need to prioritize it. So those are the books that I hope to read for this readathon, and I might sneak some other Hindsight is 2020 rereads or other buddy reads in with the month of April as well. Thank you, Katie, for hosting this readathon. I am really excited to be motivated to read these books that I do want to read, but for some reason continue to just not do that. Please let me know in the comments down below if you plan to participate and what your number one read for April is going to be. Thank you for watching, and until next time, continue to be lovely.